Welcome back, guys. Today we are back with another problem, and today's problem statement is constructing the list using given q queries of XOR queries. And we have to given a list, and initially which contains only a single value. There will be q queries of the following types: qx, insert x in the list, and for one element replace it with a XOR of bitwise XOR of x, and return the sorted list after performing the given q queries. So I will explain you this code. I will explain you this code in a very simple manner, provided you listen to me with 100% attention and try to analyze what I am trying to say. Okay. So first we will be given q queries. Okay. So in the queries, what we have to do is basically we have to take the size of the queries. So if we are taking a list, the list has a particular size, right? So in this case, the size is 5. So there will be, say, you can see there are 5 elements: 0, 6, 0, 3, 0, 2, 1, 4, and 1, 5. So imagine this, that the second digit is the one which you are putting, right? So the second digit is a variable digit, and the first digit can contain 0 and 1 only. So whenever we are seeing 0 in the list, we are going to keep the list as it is. Whenever we are encountering a 1, say for example in this case 1 and 4 and 1 and 5, we have to change it and do the XOR component of 4 with each and every single one. Say for example, when explanation is given, 0 initial value, okay, 0, 6, add 6 to the list, 0, 6, 3, add 3 to the list, 0, 6, 3, 2, add 2 to the list. Now whenever you are encountering a 1, you can see XOR each element by 4. So each individual element has to be XOR by 4. And whenever you are encountering another one, then each individual element has to be encountered by 5. So finally, after the encounter, you can see an array comes as 1, 7, 2, and 3. So what is XOR? XOR is the complement of OR, right? So we have to do that bitwise XOR operator. Nothing much is over here. And you can see 1, 7, 2, and 3 is there. We have to return this 1, 7, 2, and 3, the final array, in sorted manner, use like this: 1, 2, 3, and 7. So let's take another example. Suppose query is 3. There are 3 digits, 3 coordinates, and 2, 3, and 5 are the possibilities. For the first possibility, we are adding 0 and 2. Whenever we are encountering a 1, what we are going to do? We are going to XOR each element by 3. And again, after that, you are getting a 0. So we are just simply adding 5 to the list, and we don't have to do anything. Lastly, we are going to sort the list, and the list will become 1, 3, and 5. I don't have a pen tab in working condition right now. It would be updated in a week's time or maybe tomorrow. But till then, I've just tried to explain it by like verbally, and it would be very beneficial if you could understand this problem statement like this. Okay. So here is the code, and we are going to start with the code. So first what we are going to do in this problem statement is, first we are going to define a class. We are going to define a class, say class solution. Okay. In class solution, we are going to take public static array list of type integer, and say the name of the list I am saying, say construct, and I am going to take the queries. So 1 is the size of the query, and the 2D array of queries, q1. Okay, I'm taking it as q1. Next, I'm going to create a new list answer, which is going to store the answer, and finally I have to sort that list. So new list answer equals to new array list. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to add zeros, right? So I'm going to do answer dot add 0 over here in the list. Now we have to do a variable which is going to calculate the cumulative XOR. So I can say C XOR is doing the cumulative XOR. Okay. Now I'm going to just traverse through the array. So for doing that, for int I equals 0, I less than q, I plus plus, and so on. So first question of the day is, we have to check whether the query is a 0 or not. So query in the first coordinate, I coordinate, becomes 0 or not. So equals to 0. So you can see, many people ask me, Arnav, how I am going to learn dynamic programming. This is not a dynamic programming. And dynamic programming, what basically is dynamic programming? Dynamic programming, we say anything as dynamic programming when there involves more than one dimensions. So when there is 2-dimensional array, 3-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, n cross n board, or a monopoly game, or a crossword puzzle, all those things include dynamic programming. But say for example, when you're working with more than just one array as well, Similarly, in this case with coordinate systems, we can consider this as a dynamic array or more than one array or 2D array. So in a 2D array, I is variable position and 0 is the constant position. We are checking if this coordinate matches to 0, as I told you while explaining the question. If you didn't understand the explanation, I would like you to just go back in time and watch the explanation once more. So now we are going to add q1. So q1 is the array. So I'm going to add q1 of I and the first position if it is 1. So we are going to do cumulative. Of XOR. So we can write C. So we can write C XOR. Okay. And in the else if, first I'm going to write the condition of the else if. Q1 of I and 0. See, the best way to learn DSA or learn competitive programming is through practice. Okay, so if you see my code, if you see me working over here, it doesn't mean that I always solve this question in one go. It takes me multiple attempts even sometimes. So remember, don't get disheartened if you can't solve one problem in one go. You have to be consistent enough every single day, and then only you will be solving your first problem correctly. Okay, so else if is done. There's a for which is done. Now what I can do is I can run a for. See, for example, in my personal, I have solved, say, over 100 days of GeekForGeeks and over, say, 400 problems in late code. But today's in GFG's contest, I failed to do two problems in one. So I have solved another problem. You can see over here in the contest. This is my contest of today's contest. And if you see solve problems, I have just a second. So if you see the solve problem list, I have only solved 2 problems, right? So you don't have to be disheartened if you couldn't do or something like that. So if you see the discussions, the contest is still going on. I finished it earlier because I knew I wasn't able to do it. So similarly, there is a leaderboard for every contest, and I didn't make it into the leaderboard even because I couldn't solve. The leaderboard people usually solve all the problems correctly. So yeah, it is like this, that perfection doesn't come in one day. You have to be working hard. In one of my code forces contest, however, I participated and worked it correctly. But today's problem had some TLE errors which are needed to be fixed. So over here, what I can do is in the I equals to 0, I less than, I can take the size of the resultant array as answer.size, I plus plus. Over here, I'm going to update answer.set, I answer.get I, and I have to do XOR component C XOR. Okay, the for loop is done. Now you know that in the question they have said that we have to sort the final resultant array. So we are over here going to do collections dot sort of answer and return answer. We're going to compile this. So the error is Q1. So in the error in line number 83. So in the error, what is the error? Q1 of IN0 Q1. Okay. Oops, I put an extra bracket. So what is the error? Integer result obj.construct list. So the name of the function in the driver is construct list. So I will put construct list over here. Now hopefully this should work. Yeah, this is working. So we are going to quickly submit. So yeah, so solving problems is not that hard. You have to be consistent enough. You have to do 10 problems a day. Then only you will be able to solve. So we are seeing that we have reached 109 days in GFG, and I've also solved 72 videos in my channel, including today. So practice makes a man perfect. You can make any gender perfect. So all the best for today's video. I hope you liked it.